Yeah. Now we are.
My daughter should be first. You said she could be first.
All right, we're live.
Do you want to show the room or anything, or just stay in one spot?
You can stay there. Right. I've also got the link here so I can walk around with this. Right? Yeah. I'm just going to go sharing. Look. See?
Oh, she's behind you. You can sit in the front with us if you want, or in the back with us too. Everybody. How many viewers do we have?
You're live.
How many viewers do we have?
Oh, 7 right now.
Right, all right. Can you tell us their names if you'd like to?
I got Oliver Turok right now watching.
Hi, Oliver.
Yeah. I gotta slow down the sharing so it doesn't come out as spam. All right, so
That's why
what I'm
we're
doing.
just filling in right now, making time filling in.
All right.
Everybody, we got a really busy morning here today, getting ready for all of you to arrive and all of our friends close to coast.
You have to use the mic.
You?
Yeah.
We're gonna wait till.
Yeah, so this mic will pick up the sound from there. Okay?
Okay. So I won't talk then. Just smoke.
Yeah, I let everybody know that we'll be starting soon. I put a comment in there.
Just getting people settled, really. So when she turned on this
It's live. It's live. I hear it. I hear you.
See, that's why we're testing all this stuff right now, so
Yeah.
that the people that do join us live will be
Okay.
able to hear.
We got Jenkins, Justin in there.
Hi, Justin. We're just doing a check for the live feed right now. About check like. Hello, is my daughter out there? I'd like to welcome her to the service. She couldn't make it today. And of course, my friend Donna. I hope you're watching as well. We're just doing some testing right now for the online.
Yeah, go on, James.
So just give us a few minutes.
Louder.
Louder.
Oh, then we just gotta go right back to the source over here.
Oh, yeah, that would be better.
Turn the pop.
There we go.
That's better.
Maybe the other one, do you want to point it that way or?
Wi-Fi.
I'm saying hi to the viewers, I guess, with the mic.
No, I'm on the,
Oh, now he's taking the mic.
I'm on the public. Yeah,
I
thank you.
think we're gonna need some more chairs.
Diane's here too. Hi, Diane. Hi, Ron. Thank you for sharing out.
Oh, you turned it this way. Glenn, is that better? Is that better? He turned the speaker this way. Okay, we're gonna need some more chairs by the looks of it. bring those chairs in from outside.
Boyd's heart. Boyd just sent me an attachment. We're here.
Because we're gonna not have enough chairs, so we're gonna need some more brought in. Yeah, 1, 2, 3 chairs, 4 chairs more.
Robin. Hey. Fran, how are you? How are you? Nice to see you. Oh, thank you. 20 bucks for white ones, 15 for the yellow ones. Talk to Dan. Yeah. The mic is on.
Welcome, everybody. I'd just like to point out a couple of announcements before we start.
Yeah, we didn't even. Sure. Oh, no.
Can you hear me now?
We had it louder before.
Dan. Teacher. Michelle. Okay, Michelle. But if I did that, she's gonna yell.
I can give you this one at the end.
Yeah, I can hear you. Hello? I'm at a celebration of life. That's better.
My apologies to your ears.
All right.
Welcome, everybody.
That's better.
I've got just a couple of things that I'd like to point out before we begin. First of all, the washroom, if anybody needs to know, is just through the doors on your right-hand side. And also, they wanted you guys to know that there is going to be a raffle for the bong, and the tickets are $10 each, or 3 for $20. And if they reach $500 today for donations, we will give it away today. That being said, we're going to have a couple people speak, and we are going to make sure that our phones are on silent, please. And I'm gonna let Dana say something here this evening.
Actually, do you want to wait? Dan's not here, you guys. He's upstairs. So. Oh, no, he's
here.
running around. We need to get this on.
Now, wait a minute, I guess.
You're gonna have to wait for 5 minutes.
This is where you tell jokes when he ran away with the microphone. So now we have to tell jokes.
There's the bomb.
Oh, here's the bong that's going to be raffled.
It's a kahuna.
It's a kahuna. Okay,
It's
yeah.
a kahuna.
Do
There
you
we
have
go.
any other details?
Well, no.
Okay. It's
It's UV active.
Oh, that's cool.
And it has gold fumed on the bottom.
Oh, so it's got gold on the bottom.
Oh, I see.
Ooh. All right.
Okay, so for dinner, there's going to, or like for refreshments after, there's going to be pulled pork. And there's desserts and juices and stuff, and there's water. And if you need anything, you can either call me, like talk to me, you can talk to Glenn, Cindy and Dana probably, right? And James. So we're just gonna wait a few minutes until the family finishes and is able to have a seat.
And what's your name?
My name's Amy Duggan.
Now the jokes.
That was the deal story.
Oh, stuff that we did.
Do your rendition of O Cannabis. No pressure, never sound like Neil, it's okay, it's okay, we tried.
I could probably tell you guys kind of maybe my friendship with Neil. The first time that I met him was his first cannabis day, I think 1998. And he came and he was with Dan and he was playing hacky sack with all of our friends and stuff. And then over the years we just watched, Cannabis Day and or 420 grow, and he had a lot of information and he was just a really inspiring person. And yeah, it's been crazy. It's been a long time seeing him do all of his little adventures and
That's like most of your lifetime.
I think like 17 when I met him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was good. He's a really amazing person and he's done a lot of impact and feel on the community and those who love him, and it's just great overall community. And
Well said.
thanks.
You here?
They're here, they're just, I'm not sure that they're against that part. So also, the candles that are in the formations of the hearts on the tables, feel free to take, you'll find some joy lying around. And little plants too, the little clones, right?
Yeah, there.
Feel free to take one.
Those are our donation, and feel free to take one.
We have a few more seats if anyone wants to come sit down.
There's more seats available if anybody wants to come and sit down.
There's 3, 4, 5, 6 more seats. Okay, I think we're in a better spot now.
And then
Your mom.
She's gone.
How many viewers do we have?
we have 18 right now.
That's great.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
it's
just
great.
shared it out majorly.
So does that count as viewers too? No.
I mean, yeah, it'll count those viewers. We got like Newfoundland here.
Okay, so the
Quarter after.
My boss is Neil Magnuson here to
Can we move the bomb over a little
Yeah,
bit? Because it's
behind
in front of
them.
their face. Yeah. There we go.
It's being live streamed, right? So
Yes, you are.
right about here, is that
Yep.
a good camera placement? All right.
We're good. You're in the middle.
All right, so yeah, we're here today to celebrate the life of Neil Magnuson, to remember this guy who was our friend, our ally, family member, a wonderful leader in our movement, someone who inspired a lot of people to do a lot of good work. And I've known Neil about 20 years or so when he first was in Vancouver. He would always tell me how inspired he was by the editorials I was writing back in Cannabis Culture magazine back in the day, and how that helped to motivate him to get into this movement and become part of this. And I don't think I'd like to take credit for anything Neil did, but more to it's good that we can all inspire each other to these kind of things, because Neil said I inspired him, and this guy certainly inspired me as well over the last 20 years. And I learned a lot from watching Neil and being in his presence. And he was a pretty incredible guy. And when I first met Neil 20 years ago, there's a lot of people that come and go in the weed movement, and some of them are more serious than others. And remember Neil talking about, I'm going to go on this tour, I'm going to rollerblade all across Canada I'm like, how do you get a rollerblade over the Rockies? Like, this is a crazy plan. What are you talking about? Like, I thought it was a nutty idea, and I go for it, whatever. But I don't know why you're doing this. But man, it turned out so good, and it really was an incredible voyage that we followed him doing that, and he did it again and again, and really built up a lot of people across the country that were excited for him to come back next year and to continue spreading the word and building this movement from coast to coast. And Neil never gave up on any of this stuff, right? I mean, he was always finding new ways to participate and new ways to get involved. He became an integral part of the 420 festival, the protest festival that grew so big and wonderfully large here in Vancouver. But he also started his own events and made Cannabis Day a bigger thing, and started doing other events, and going to Thornton Park and building his own territory, and to never gave up, and he started the Cannabis Substitution Project, something else that I know was hard in the beginning. So it was hard all the way through, really, but he grew it from just an idea, a little seed he planted, to something. They got 3 other cities that they're doing this in, I think. I'm looking at 7 cities.
At least 5.
Okay, I'm way off. So it's all across the country now. People are doing this everywhere, inspired by what he started. And a lot of what we can start here in Vancouver, which is kind of a special city. And it's wonderful when these things can spread outside of this protected zone of Vancouver. It's still hard here, but we got it easy compared to some other cities and places in Canada. We know that. And able to grow this thing across the country. And of course, cannabis is such a wonderful plant and such a wonderful thing in all of our lives. We know this battle isn't really about cannabis, right? I mean, cannabis is the physical manifestation, but it's about freedom and liberty. It's about our power and our right to control our own thoughts and our own minds and our connection with the earth, and to be able to grow the plants in our garden, and the connection with these plant medicines that we want. And so, yeah, it's about cannabis, but it's about all these other kind of broader, bigger ideals that are out there. And I think Neil knew that, and we got this quote on the shirt: have as much fun as you can. But I feel like there's that other second line to that quote, right? Have as much fun as you can while you're changing the world, and that, I think it's important to remember, because sometimes being an activist, it feels like a slog, or like it's difficult, and sometimes, but really it's a lot of fun, too, like doing this kind of work and the things that we do. I mean, it's, for myself, there's challenges and getting raided and having these things and facing the devastation and the horrors of the war on drugs in our community and all around the world. That stuff's not so fun, but it is fun helping people. It's fun being able to make a difference. It's fun to be able to make somebody's life better. It's fun to be able to struggle and ultimately change a law that affects so many people in so many ways all around the country. Those things are really fun, and I think it's important to remember. And he had some hard times, obviously, but he always had a smile on his face and was always, I think, enjoying himself and what he was doing, and like, it was a pleasure to be out there serving people, a pleasure to be providing people with access to cannabis medicine as a substitute for other more dangerous and other substances. I think he was having a lot of fun right up to the end, and I think that's something that's important to remember. So I'm glad we got that on the shirt, and that kind of slogan. It's about having fun while you're changing the world. And I think in our movement, especially, it's a place where you can do both those things. And it's, like I said, there's a lot of challenges and a lot of parts that aren't fun, but I think helping people, making positive change, giving someone a smile they didn't have one, helping to liberate someone, helping avoid someone having some terrible things happen to them, those things are super fun. And I enjoy doing them, and I know that Neil did as well. He took a lot of joy in that. And yeah, Neil really became a real leader, in our movement. And you don't become a leader from other people, like you become a leader from getting out there and taking the lead and making that decision. And hopefully people will follow along and be inspired and become leaders in their own ways and in their own communities. And I think Neil really succeeded in that. And all the people that are here, and the many other people that they can't be here but are watching or thinking about Neil, or people that don't even really know who Neil is, but they got something from the Cannabis Substitution Project, or they got something, or they were influenced in some ways, because it goes beyond your name and your face. A lot of the things you do ripple out there in ways that you don't always recognize, right? There's a lot of people who have no idea who Neil Magnuson is, but their lives were positively changed in sometimes incredible ways because of his work, and because of his selfless nature, and because his knowing the truth about this war on drugs, and knowing the truth about the cannabis plant, and just wanting to spread that wonderful truth and the benefits of this plant and this herb to everybody that he could in every way, you know, and being down there in the heart of the downtown east side, running that project, like, that wasn't easy, but I think it was a lot of fun. And I think that, and they're still, you know, able to make a lot of positive things happen. That's going to continue on into the future, you know. Neil's not here in person anymore, but his spirit, his work, and the people he inspired, and the lives he changed, those things all continue. And that's how it goes, you know, and hopefully we can all say that ourselves too, right? So I think that's what I wanted to say about Neil Magnuson. You know, a very generous, giving guy, someone who really makes a lot of sacrifices, but also had a lot of fun, giving back to his community, spreading the truth, spreading good cannabis, and just trying to think of every day, what's something I can do to make a change, make something positive happen, you know, and then getting out there and making an effort. Sometimes succeed, sometimes you don't succeed as good as you want it, but you just keep trying again, and ultimately you can make a real difference in the world. So thanks, Neil. You know, I'm glad to have met you. I'm glad to have known you. I'm glad to have inspired you and to have been inspired by you. And, you know, our work continues in this big project that is bigger than any of us, and that is really a transformation of our whole planet's culture, because it's more on drugs and it's more on the world's best plants. It's not. It's something that has been going on since long before any of us were born. And although we are successfully dismantling this war piece by piece, I'm sad to say it's not going to be over. I don't think in our lifetimes. I don't know, but we are making some huge steps and getting cannabis legalized, which is something that, you know, I think sometimes about cannabis legalization, and like obviously it was an effort of thousands and hundreds of thousands and millions of people across the country in some ways, but there's also definitely some key people that without their presence or their work, it might have taken longer, it might not have happened then. And I think Neil was one of those people, you know. I think that he was very successful in changing people's minds. He never stopped talking, that guy. It was always a take the cops, they don't get Neil to go talk to him, right? And he'll talk to cops until they just can't handle it anymore. And they'll go. And that worked a lot of the time, right? We got taken down, was it 2015 when they arrested him at Canada Day, right? Took him down there, you know, and that also didn't stop him either. And I know that's not, I mean, it's not fun getting arrested, but it's kind of fun too. Like, you know you're gonna be, I mean, you know, he knows he's gonna be okay, hopefully, right? You know that you're not, and in some parts of the world, maybe you're not gonna be okay in that kind of situation, right? But I mean, looking back on it anyways, maybe at the moment you're scared and you're too terrified, but you know, when you pass through those things, you got a good story to share and experience. It makes you a little stronger. You know, you can go through it. Next time, it's not going to be quite so bad, right? And so yeah. So like I said, thanks, Neil, for inspiring us and for being inspired and for doing the work you did and spreading that love. And that's what I wanted to say about Neil Magnuson. I think that's everything I got to say. I don't know if other people are supposed to come up now if they want to talk about it. Is that the thing? Yes. If anybody else got anything to say about Neil, I want to say anything. Now's your chance.
Does Dan want to go next?
Yeah, you're up. Just want to stand about here so we keep him the live stream.
Yeah,
Oh,
let me see
J-Mac.
scans in the middle, we're good.
Good to see you, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, you too.
It's good to see many of you. Some I might not remember your name, but your face looks familiar. I am the landlord, the Grand Marshal. It's been an honor to know Neil for over 20 years. And he's in a better place now. No more pain. I pray to the Creator for all of us here today that a piece of him will go in us. I know when I was at my heart surgery last year, Neil was there. He brought me medicine. He drove only a block away to bring me medicine. You know, the guy would never give up. He was like the Energizer guy, going across this country, sharing good news, good wisdom, good knowledge, good peace. You know, get to know his son Dan off and on, the redhead.
Yeah.
I love you, Dan. But some of you guys I know, and I love you guys, and we just all I can say is be like Happy Gilmore. Be in your happy place with Neil. It's gonna be hard for me because I always go see him, but now he's not there. But he's always been there for me. I know he's been there for many of you guys, helping you with medicine, medical stuff, some knowledge. And I had the honor and the pleasure, me and my adopted street son got to see him the day before he passed away. And to give the thumbs up. It's been a rough week or so still, because he was a good bro, a good friend, but he was always there for us, no matter what. I'm trying to learn the old cannabis song now myself. I got it written down, so my brain is kind of gone on the hiatus right now. I don't know if I smoked enough or I need to smoke more. I think at 4:20 though, we should send a smoke signal up to the sky today, eh? Yeah. Everybody should have a joint. Oh, you got joints. Yeah, right on, yeah. Go big or go home, but we don't want to go home. Just make sure everybody gets pictures, and I just talked to Talia on Facebook. She sends her love. She couldn't, come down. Her son's got baseball or something, or soccer and that. But Talia sends her love up by Kamloops down here. She's gonna send a picture of Bert and your dad, and Bert and Guppy. Yeah. You okay? Oh, I'm just thinking of that doll.
Oh yeah.
Bobblehead.
Usually I like jokes today, but I just can't think of one. It's just glad that I still watch color TV. And no, your red's due to me. My rent ain't due to you. Your rent's due to me, mofo.
No.
Yeah, that's Glenn's son back there. He says his rent's due. I said, well, hold on. You got a status card? Huh? You want some Indian in you? We'll get some more Indian in you, and then you look a bit browner. Yeah. But yeah, it's good to see you all here. George, Dana, and you guys are awesome. I love you guys, even though I forgot your name. I remember marijuana, so we sort of glitched it. I might click in. But yeah, let's just all have a good time. And anybody else got something good to say about Neil? Dan? You're not ready yet? Okay.
Hey, Carly, or Jeff.
Okay. We've got Jay back here. Trouble.
Right there.
Down right in the middle there, Jay.
Hey guys, you know me, Jim Beck. It means just me in Canada. The reason why is because when I was in a dark place. This is really good to me, but I was doing crack, I was doing heroin, I was doing PCP, I was doing everything under the sun when I met you. You just told me who I was then to where I am now. And it's all because of what Neil Magnuson has done. We're talking about support and saying cannabis does help Jeff, just use it. I will not be here standing with you today. I guarantee you I would not be. I was just free for two major car crashes before it came to stop. And I met Neil in 2013. And from that day on, I used cannabis religiously, daily, hourly, minutely. And I'm now here, healthy, strong, powerful, courageously here, ready to stand up for something I know even betrayal with cannabis. Cannabis brought us all here together because Neil wanted it to be a way to us to spread that cannabis does help. Cannabis does recover. Cannabis will help you maintain a steady life. I know when I'm on cannabis, I don't eat, I don't sleep, I don't vote. On cannabis, I go, I sleep, I eat. I eat way too much food. And it's good. When it's not high, I don't eat like shit. So it works out. So
Thanks, buddy.
today I'm gonna be eating on through something really high. Hope you all do. Can you imagine? I want to say one thing for you, please. You guys know what I'm oh, cannabis. Don't get to be with healing powers. It helps our minds to see. And with my eyes,
We criticize.
for I get something to free. Try my rhythm. And peace will live on in all of us here and all around the world. And maybe Mars too. Who knows? Who knows? So see Mars? Anybody here? Any takers? No. Thank you, Nathan. I love you.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you.
There you are. Yay!
Did anybody else want to get a birthday? Here we go.
And Amy, we
Well, I've known Neil for quite a while now. I was looking back and trying to sort of figure it out, but I had the fortunate experience of being an activist with Neil, and I've been an activist for going on 20 years, and every time that we would have an event together, he would message me and say, "Hey, you going?" I say, "Yes, I am." And he'd say, "Where are you gonna be?" He'd tell me where he's gonna be, and he would always have my back. He always was there to make sure that everybody felt safe. He was kind of the godfather of cannabis, if you will. I had the fortunate opportunity of being an activist along with Gail Quinn in the Ted Smith era, and I gotta say that tried and true is definitely Neil Magnuson. If you ever needed anything, if I work with patients now, I'm a liaison for a cannabis consulting thing going on, but if I ever had a patient that needed anything, I could go to Neil and I would say, "This is what I need, this is what we need to get," and I would have it 2 days later. When Neil had the unfortunate conversation with me about using cannabis for medicine, me and Corey Ellen got together and figured out a plan for Neil, tried to figure out the best protocol for him. And he was really hesitant at first. It took him a little bit because he didn't like being high, which I totally understand. But after he started the suppositories, I have the messages and they're hilarious. So you're like, "Okay, Carly, I got 2 in." And I'd be like, and then he'd be like, okay, I'm through the first 60. Now what do we do? And I'm like, well, now we gotta get stronger. And he's like, "Oh boy, okay, here we go." So like the messages back and forth. I was talking to Janice earlier, like they would be hilarious, like it would crack you up. Like these are some, what the hell is the matter with you guys having these conversations? But no, like it was a celebration every time. I gotta say that I could definitely see a change in Neil after he started the suppositories, as could I with Gail Quinn. But sometimes it's just not enough and it's just too late.
Yeah.
There's not much that you can do at that point, unfortunately. But I've got to say that I wouldn't be who I am today without Neil Magnuson. I wouldn't have been so successful in my endeavors because I always had a cheerleader. And I always felt safe, and that was a big thing to me going to these events with, especially in Vancouver, people know how those go. And I gotta add to Dana's stories a little bit. So when he was talking about when Neil got arrested at the 420, they did not search Neil. Neil had a lighter in one side and joints in the other pocket. So when they opened up the door, the whole back of the patio was hot. I mean, the look on their face were like, what the hell? And I'm like, it was hysterical. Like, the guy was always one up on like every situation. Like, they always thought that they had him, and little did they know he always had a plan in his pocket. So
Hug power.
right? Yeah. Exactly, the hug power thing. So I just gotta say that, like, thank you, Neil, for all of that. Thank you for making cannabis a safe place to be as far as being a woman and being vulnerable. And didn't he always make us feel safe, Jen? Right?
Yeah.
Anyway, I just gotta say I love you guys and thank you very much for listening to me ramble. But thank you so much, Neil, for all the stuff that you've done for everybody. And I hope you're not suffering anymore. That's all I can say, right? Love you.
Thank you, Carly.
That was awesome.
I definitely want to get up at some point.
That was awesome.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Rob Laurie. In fact, it's nice to see a handful of friends and colleagues and fellow activists. I first met Neil Magnuson. I was his legal counsel on Cannabis Day, and with all the disclosure footage of Neil and what went down that day, I really feel I got to know him. We formed, I think, quite a bond.
Oops, what happened there?
I don't know if I need a mic. So I first met Neil at the City of Vancouver dispensary hearings, and Neil got up and he spoke, and an incredible orator. And I got up, I spoke, and we both sort of filed out. He walked right up to me and he says, "You and I," in a deep, deep voice, sort of, "Neil, you and I need to speak." And we followed up at that point, and I got to know him more, and I got the call on Cannabis Day, and I got to tell you, that was such a unique experience because there was so much things going on that day, and you're right. Neil did not have anything significant on him. I mean, from watching the disclosure footage, weed went that way, then it went that way, and it was handoff after handoff, and it was an incredible scene. So Neil phoned me, and he would call me from time to time, and before my honeymoon, he called, and I always regarded Neil as very fatherly, and I think it's really something to be said about having a memorial service for really a father to cannabis activism. And he would call me very fatherly and give me advice. And his advice on my honeymoon was really try to appreciate what a special time this is, slow down and enjoy your wife, and best of luck starting a family. And then he, learned that I was going to be a dad, and he called with advice. And it's same sort of advice that, hey, you're going to be a dad now, your world's going to change irreparably. Slow down and try to enjoy it. And I think that was really the advice that Neil tried to bring to everybody was, well, slow down and try to enjoy it. And coming back to his case, how we disposed of it at the end was quite, teamwork. He did his thing, I did my thing. And he would call me and say, "Hey, there's the Vancouver Police board meeting. Can you come with me? Because I don't want to get arrested." And there's no way he would have got arrested unless, he was open dealing or, never wouldn't put it past Neil. But in any event, he said, come down. So I wore my full suit and he wore, you know, his Neil special. And he got up there in front of Mayor Gregor Robertson and Police Chief Adam Palmer. And again, he just spoke from the heart, almost like a lightning bolt of truth. And he had a way of articulating things that he could be confrontational without being confrontational. And Dana was right, that it was at all the events the police would show up, be like, oh, well, like put him to Neil. And that's where I said to Neil, you know, I affectionately call you the elder statesman, because he very much had that quality. He could negotiate, and the police, believe it or not, really liked Neil. So going back to the board meeting, we all file out of City Hall, and Neil's like, I want to go talk to Mayor Robertson. So I'm like, fine, whatever. And then who should fall into right in front of us is Chief Adam Palmer. Neil says, should I go speak to him? Well, normally the rule is, you know, you don't give statements to persons in authority. I just said to Neil this one time, fill your boots. And it's exactly what he walked right up to Chief Adam Palmer and just did what Neil did best. And a side note, I had been working on this prosecutor, a guy named Dave Hartney. He's a good guy. He's he's like a country western singer now. But anyway, his thing was, I'd say to him, you got to help me, right? Like, you don't want this to go to trial, okay? Trust me. Going to trial is like taking Brer Rabbit and throwing him in the briar patch. You don't want to give this guy a stage. I was like, listen, the monkeys have taken over the zoo, Dave. He's been talking about getting 27 activists. Apparently Pot TV is going to infiltrate the courtroom. Don't give him a stage. Help me, right? Whatever you do, you know, discharge the case. Let's not do this. So that combination of that with then, you know, Neil just being the elder statesman. 2 weeks after that encounter with Chief Adam Palmer, full discharge. And that was the end of it. And it certainly wasn't the end of our friendship, and it definitely wasn't the end of Neil's activism. I think the conclusion of that experience where, you know, he just was doing what he did, he had to, I think, up his game. And I remember hearing more, he'd call me and say, well, now we're doing cannabis substitution project, you know, what do you think about that? And I felt honored. He would call me and almost like take counsel before, you know, he couldn't always convince Neil, but he would take counsel. And I guess at the end of all of it, I look at Neil, he's definitely a father of our community. And I mean, I learned so much about, like, I wouldn't call myself an activism, but it was Neil who called me an activist. And it was sort of toward the end, he reached out to me and he said, are you still an activist? And I said, what did you hear? I never stopped being an activist. And he just said, good. So I valued my time with Neil. We all wish we had more time with Neil, but I'm grateful for the time I had. And this is hard. I'll conclude by saying my father's cancer. We got the diagnosis on Wednesday. He's terminal. So I have to leave a little early to go deal with him. But I was thinking about, you know, Neil. You know, how would Neil want me to show up for my dad? And it sure wouldn't be crying. So, again, I want to thank you for sharing your dad with all of us. My door's open to you and your family. Should you need help, please feel free to reach out. And I think we're all better because of your dad. So it's just the words from the heart. Thank you. And well, Neil, happy Father's Day.
Thank you very much. Sure.
You just said you don't want to see something.
Sure.
Yeah, the mic should work.
The mic should work, Kevin. I don't need it. I don't need it. I've got a good voice. The next person. Yeah. Okay. Well. Okay.
Yeah.
There we go. Can you hear it? Yep. Okay. So yeah, at the end of the day, I only knew Neil for a couple of years, but in that time, I got to experience true love and care. He let me know what true love was. I was talking with a friend just about Neil's loss, and for me and for my friend Dexter, he was a true father. Like he showed us what true love was. At least he did for me. I can't speak for Dexter. But yeah, the one thing that I get to think about every single day now is have as much fun as you can. That's what he always told me at the end of the workday. That's what he told all of us. Have as much fun as you can. And that was Neil. He was full of love and just full of just happiness. When you came in contact with him, you were enriched. You felt touched. You felt loved. And that was something that Neil had a gift for. And it's something that I know everybody in this room is going to miss. It's just being touched by his love, his care, his enthusiasm. As Rob was saying, that's the one thing. The media definitely decided to stop fucking with him because giving him a stage, his famous words were tongue fu. That's it. Like at the end of the day, if you gave him a stage to talk, that was fucking it. Like he was gonna make you look like a fucking idiot for dealing with him and trying to say that what he was doing was illegal, because and I know because I work at the RV, we have touched so many lives. There is nothing, I get goosebumps even just thinking about it now, when somebody comes to the RV window and goes, I've reduced my usage, or I'm going to get treated, or I'm done with hard drugs, all because of what you have provided me. You know, a joint. 30 cents is what it costs us. But what it does for somebody can be life-changing. And Neil is the reason that happens. You know, we go through sometimes 300 joints in a day. It's a fuck ton of money just to try to save somebody's life. And Neil is the fucking reason that we do that. And we are not going to stop doing that.
Amen. Amen.
Yay.
Never.
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 No.
Never.
His dream
Never.
will never stop.
Yeah.
We will continue to fight. And we will do it. We will make sure that we continue to save people's lives. Because what other reason is there? Like, fuck safe. You know, I get safe supply. Great. But cannabis is the answer.
Oh, yeah, brother.
Amen.
That's it.
Next, Kathy has written something that I'm going to read out for her. We know that Neil and Kathy had quite a special friendship. She says, "Hey everyone, I want to talk about Neil. It's nice. I remember meeting him in 2008. I'm not sure, and I say hi, so he helped me with pot and lots of fun. So in July 1st, 2009, I saw Neil on stage and stand, and he was speaking about government and help people. And 10 years ago, he was at CSP help people and give free pot and edibles to many people. And want pot, but hard time. Neil was a good job. He did a good job. Neil is a sweet. I remember old pictures of Neil, and it makes me happy and see me and smile." On July 5th, 2015, Neil and Reg me in a video about public and government shutdown of lounge bar and medical store, not legally, but VPD is a bitch. So I was sent for Neil, and he's so long story that good. He's a good talk show with this as well. Last July 1st, 2015, Neil was wanting to set Canada Day, but police won't shut up there, and I wasn't there before. I was a wheelchair, all myself, to the art gallery. So Ron told me Neil is in jail. I was shocked. Wow, I missed it. I saw that on video. That was crazy. But the police are very wrong, and Neil is very right in all ways. All people get mad that it's okay that Neil is in jail, and it's not. But wow, it was a really good story. I saw Neil with the trouble and business store shut down, so really hard work. He was speaking to the police. Wow, that's crazy, cop. Don't like Neil, that true fuck police. We are supposed of the CSP and cannabis and party. In July 1st or whatever, never stop. I know Neil would say that. Never stop. Last year, I remember Neil gave me some dab. And one day he came to my house and he gave me a big hug. He gave me a table for a market at the cannabis market, and that was nice, and gave me some nice joints. He bought my art prints and my pictures, so it was really great. Wow. I was watching Neil and watching him sing "Oh Cannabis." That was great music. Many people saw that. Wow, that was crazy. In 2022, Neil saw me. I was stuck downtown, so I was in a wheelchair. Power was dead on my battery. So Neil called a taxi, and it was near 12 a.m., 2023. And that was crazy. I remember that kind of thank him for helping me with pictures. And last December 17th, a good time with a friend. He was a song about cannabis, and that was great music. And he was helped to open gift ball, hot potato. That was fun. Great.
Aw, thank you. Thank you, Jackie.
Next we have somebody here that would like to say something. And if anybody else wants to come up and say anything, then they can just come over and see me there.
He's gonna go next. Hey, you want me to go? No, after him. Okay.
Hello, everyone. I consider myself a pretty close friend of Neil's. I mean, I only know him for such a short while, but I'm not too great at public speaking, but there is something important I wanted to say. When I was, the last time I saw Neil, last time we visited, I asked him if he had any, like what the most important life advice that he could give me was. And he said, Jared, he said, always lead with your heart. You know, you got to trust your gut, and you know, you got to use your mind. You got to stay wise. But he said, lead with your heart. That's the most important thing that him as a man, summing up his life, could tell his friend. And does everybody here know what the definition of integrity is?
Yes.
It's always doing the right thing, even if nobody else knows you're doing it. You don't do it for the notoriety. You just do it because it's the right fucking thing to do. You know, and Neil, I think of Neil, that's the word that comes to my mind. That guy had true grit, you know. I don't really have any jokes to say, and I know you'd like me to say them, but they're not really good for public speaking. But he one hell of a good man. He was a man that led a life with meaning. You know, they say it's not the amount of years you have in your life, but the amount of life you have in your years. And that man really lived. And the stories that I've heard, his compassion, right till the end. You know, he lived his life by the sleeve of his shirt. He truly was free, and I admire that. And I'll miss you, Neil. I love you.
I searched through my wardrobe and found an appropriate shirt to embrace this nation. My name is Jerry Prose, and I got to know Neil about 4 or 5 years ago. I can't remember. I smoked pot. Anyway, Joanne and Neil, and I know a whole pile of people here, but I don't remember your names, but it doesn't matter. I ended up doing, I started rolling for him at the downtown, just over here.
Dandu.
At Dandu, where I was a shitty roller, couldn't roll worth shit. So I ended up doing pictures and videos of all the people that were coming through the lines. And I would ask them from the bottom of their heart, how does this help you? And I got hundreds and hundreds of hours of documentaries of people that were aided and abetted by this gentleman's work, and how he kept civility in or running the organization of giving away cannabis. And it wasn't easy, you know, when you're a thorn in the side as far as your political views being opposite to a lot of the people that you're around. Well, I pissed a lot of people off, and he managed to keep it under control so nobody punched me out. I remember one time we were on Hastings Street in a bus working to get a young lady over here elected to city council, and we hit a cop car. Oh my God! And Dana came by and got us out of the soup without any affliction, and he was just an amazing man. He was my neighbor, my friend. He wasn't. I wasn't a hockey fan, but he was trying to turn me into one, and I just about converted to a Vancouver lover, still not yet, still like Edmonton, but he was an absolute incredible being as far as gaining support from whoever it was. He spoke from the heart. He was honest, had integrity with everything that he did. An absolute incredible human being, and the only thing I wish is that all of you guys here take your phone out and you got somebody that's riding with cannabis and being helped with cannabis, take your documentary, send it online, spread the word. You do that, and you send it everywhere, get everybody to do it, two by two by two by two, and we'll control this world. We'll send his message across this planet without anybody interfering, because somebody that has sores and cusses, and next week they come by and they say it's gone.
What's the hashtag?
Hashtag is, I don't know.
Pick one.
Fuck cancer.
But yeah, we should all create a hashtag so that when we do this, that's a great idea, by the way. Social media is our best friend right now. AI will spread it everywhere. Get on Twitter. It's a free speech forum. Put it on there. Put it on True Social. Put it on areas where they're not going to shut you down. I've got 8 Facebook accounts for speaking the truth.
Yeah, me too.
Right? You want to go there and piss somebody off? Tell them the truth. Tell it in a way with it. They're going to listen to you. Tell it in a way that you spread the word that cannabis works. Being a Scientologist and throwing pot plants out was part of my life. I worked at the church and I hated cannabis. And I found out through Neil that it wasn't a bad thing, that it helped people. And he re-educated my thinking into it helps. It's a wonderful drug. And it's just, he is a superhero and he's not far away. I promise you that the quantum field works in wonders. Please do yourself a favor. Do yourself a favor and pick up the phone and do documentaries about people that are aided by this wonderful substance that's not should never be illegal. That's my word. I love you, Neil Magnuson, and I feel wonderful, wonderful thoughts for everybody that's here. This legacy of his will go on forever. Take your camera out, do documentaries, spread the word, never give up.
Cannabis saves lives.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
I think the lineups.
Yeah, lineup's over here, Gary.
Hey there, my name is
You want to grab the mic?
Hi, my name is Matthew. I'm just really thankful for Neil and the birth of the cannabis association.
Is it off again?
Oh, is it, what? It's not working.
Oh,
Please. Oh, is the light on, right?
Oh, there you go. Yes.
Okay, is it working now?
Yes.
Yes.
There you go. Yes.
All right, cool. I had a poem I wanted to share that I wrote a while ago, but it touches a lot of subjects like grief and such. And I know people who are grieving have complicated relationships with their dads, unfortunately. And I don't want to get to that one with the 10-foot pole, but I have this poem I'd like to share. One second. Is it on? Okay. All right, cool. I'm just making sure. Oh, right when you hit it on the right page, but you turn it right away by accident. Okay, here we are. I just found the poem. It's called "To All the Missing People." You are more than this. You are loved by people with mist in their eyes. To all the missing people, you're more than a number, unless that number happens to be number 1 in the heart. To all the missing people, You'll be found in the memories of those who cherished you. To all the missing people, you'll always be missed by those who hold you dearly, as their love for you will flourish. To all the missing people, you are not amiss, as you have always been a massive hit to the heavy hearts. We recite your name in memory, ever and afterthought. Thank you.
So next, we're going to be hearing from a cancer survivor because of cannabis. And she just had a few things to say.
Thank you. I want to thank you, the activists. I want to thank you, I want to thank Neil for all the actions he has done. I met him last 420. I was very sad, very mad because the police just pushed us against the wall, fence they make outside the SkyTrain and the main street in that park. That was very sad. I was very mad. I said to the police that why they doing that. I have a sample of survivor for cancer. I have the disease, not Hodgkin lymphoma. I had Rick Simpson oil, cannabis oil, all type of oil since 2019. After 36 chemotherapies, 18 radiation. I haven't done any radiation, any chemotherapy, any therapy since 2019 because I had this opportunity to be here as Mexican. Thank you for giving my medicine to keep alive. I am a mother of 11-year-old. When life gave me my son, give me also no Hodgkin lymphoma. I have been surviving, being a mother, being a cancer survivor, and activist in a way that all the people don't ask me how I can survive, what I have dealing. It has been hard for my brain because I had mostly 1 gram every day for 5 years. And I have feel the change in my brain. I have feel that I'm more sensitive. I'm sensitive to the light, sensitive to people, sensitive to the emotions. But I'm still alive, and I want to thank Neil. I want to thank all the activists, all the people who love him and support him, because I am one of the samples of his work, of his fight of cannabis. I really thank you, everybody here, and forgive me if I just came to talk to you. But thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we're going to hear
Gary.
from Bridget and Gary, from the Cannabis Substitution Project branch in Newton. So.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Dana, for allowing us to be here to do this. Dan, Magnuson, thank you. Anyways, yeah, we run a cannabis substitution program of me, my wife and me, Bridget. And anyways, what little time I did have with Neil, he showed me a lot of things because I was always been into social justice. And it shifted to the 420 community a couple of years ago when Rosie called me, actually. And so how it all started is Rosie and me approached Neil to start a cannabis substitution program on Surrey, and we did that. And then time went on, and in order for the program to grow like Neil wants it to and needed it to, we decided to go to Newton because it's a little different out there. They're kind of scattered. So me and my wife started pushing the carts around Newton, giving these little care packages, like 2 cookies, a couple doobies, and gummies and stuff. So we've been doing this for over a year now. And, the last couple months while Neil got sick, I got to really ask him a lot of questions about, where are we going to go, Neil? What are we going to do, Neil? Right? Like everybody's worried. But see, we're not to worry because the cannabis substitution program is growing. So not only is there one in Wally, there's one in Newton, there's now one in Langley too with Dan Heisenberg and his people, and there's Sean out in Mission. So, you know, that's,
Chris on the East Coast.
and well, of course, Chris on the East Coast, he's been there for a while. And it's growing. I hear there's one in Ottawa too. So when I think about the pioneers, we'll go back to Dana and Jody and Mark and a whole bunch of people, right? So I want to talk about this. It is so important that we have you back, Jody and Dana, because we need you. We need you here. We need to change things. We need to get rid of freaking Trudeau and his bullshit cops and his communism that he comes into places like Dana's and does this stuff. That's what we need to do moving forward. Cannabis Day, I challenge everyone in this room to be there at the art gallery, just like Neil would. And really, I'm gonna hand the mic to my wife now, because I got enough talking. But thank you, Jody. Thank you, Dana. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Neil. Thank you, so many people passed on that we know of, you know, because we wouldn't be standing here without you two, right? Because none of this would have happened without Neil too. But look at the cannabis substitution program. It's gonna grow. And we're gonna show that cannabis, CBD, and everything that the government thinks it could be, no, we know what it could be. And we're gonna tell them, no, it's ours to do, not theirs. Thank you very much.
Here go my best attempt of public speaking. Anyway, I'm Bridget Croucher. I'm a member of the Newton CSP place in Surrey. And what do I say about Neil Magnuson? Holy crap. Very quickly, I won't take you all hostage, but so I met Neil just a little over a year ago, and I asked him if I could pray for him because he said he was going through some kind of a health issue or something. And I said, sure, I'm a spiritual person. You know, can I pray for you? He said, sure, I'll take any help I can get. I said, okay, cool. And so anyway, a year went by and I saw him kind of, speaking in front of people, and I kind of learned a little bit about what cannabis was all about and what it could do for people in different capacities. And so anyway, what ended up happening is my boyfriend went down there and told him that I was a baker. I said, what? I said, what did you do? He says, oh, you can bake cookies. I said, Gary, I don't bake with cannabis, dude. I bake, cookies for kids. And he said, no, I believe in you, you can do it. And I said, oh yeah, okay, Gary, right on. So anyway, I go down a couple weeks later and I spoke with Neil in the office and he said, oh, you need butter. I said, yeah. So he walks over to the fridge and he pulls out these two stinky things. He put it on the desk and he goes, here you go. I said, I guess you want a bag, right? I said, I'm getting on the SkyTrain. This stuff really stunk. I'm like, holy shit. So meanwhile, I knew it was really expensive. And I thought, oh my God, right away the fear kicked in. Oh my God, what if I can't do this? And waste this nuts, precious butter. And I thought, oh my God, what am I going to do? And I don't eat it or smoke it or anything. And I thought, well, I hope it's going to taste good. And I did find out it did taste good, but it really high. So anyway, I didn't realize you don't have to eat a whole cookie to get 55 milligrams. You just eat a piece of a cookie. I went, uh-oh. So anyway, I apparently greened out, and it was a kind of scary experience. And so now I don't taste the dough if it's fresh or any other taste control. I usually give it off to someone else. So, it was incredible the day, I'll just say this much, that I gave 2 cookies to a lady, 3 girls sitting outside of Cello, that the one girl, she couldn't even move. She was in so much pain. She was kind of sitting up against a wall, and so they got some chili in a bun for you and some cheese, and she said, I can't eat, I can't move. So I said, why don't I leave it here with you? And then my partner looked over and said, hey, I got some cannabis products for you. She goes, you got cannabis? Holy shit. So she took the cookies from us, and then I went about 45 minutes around the block. We're like a mobile thing, we walk around. I come back around, and not only is she sitting up, she's laughing, she was joking, having fun with her friends, and eating a bowl of chili with a bun of cheese. I went, holy shit, this works. So I came back in the office, I said, Neil, I gotta share the story. So I shared the story with him. He said, Bridget, do you see why we do what we do? And I said, yeah, I think I'm starting to understand. you know, to believe that 2 cookies can change people's lives, like, I couldn't believe it. You know, and with the CSP Vancouver at the RV wagon, my daughter's currently addicted to fentanyl. And the other day she went into the downtown east side and she didn't come for cannabis. She just came to be near the van because she felt safe there. And so my partner looked out the window and Brianna was standing there. Of course, she was shocked and Gary was kind of shocked. And you know, she just kind of came around for that kind of couple of words of wisdom. You know, it wasn't for the cannabis, but it was because we're kind of like a family. And you know, and Brianna knows what we do because obviously this patch thing I wear and the jackets and whatnot. But she came and I guess she was asking somebody where the RV was. So, you know, no matter if it's just maybe that safety net or something, it's a really scary place down there. You know, and there's just beautiful people, beautiful souls. And if any way I can ever help with either rolling weed, I know how to roll weed now, and I didn't even know how to do that. I couldn't get the paper into the roller. It was like, this is ridiculous. And a couple of girls tried to show me, it's really easy, you just do like this, yeah, whatever. And then I tried to bump box and that didn't work out. So now I'm back to hand rolling them again and licking lots of paper. And I'm upset. You know, I promised Neil last week, people going downtown. As long as I can physically do it, I'll send those little people downtown. Some days I get tired and go, I'm not doing this. And I gotta remember that every cookie that I'm rolling or making or baking, I don't know how it's gonna help, but it could help someone. You know, with that, I'll continue to keep it using. You know, I don't know. I mean, just walking up and
So, I came down and this feel like well, it's not bad do, right? So next weekend I came down, got down, and just so appreciative of those things. It was great. And then we should introduce me to the person that was home. So it's really supposed to be down here for 3 months. But something just didn't quite, like this is gonna work, not a chance. So I baked up 900 cookies, bagged them up, 2 cookies to a bag, printed up my business cards, put those in there, Now, when we went to see weekends, came down Thursday, there were a bunch. Came down Saturday, Friday, and I was going in the morning, and then of course 11 o'clock I was at the Santa. And afterwards I handed out a bunch more. Saturday I handed out pretty much the rest of them. So Sunday came down to get some feedback. And a lot of people ate too much cookie. Yeah, well, I made it pretty powerful back then, a half gram a week per cookie. Needless to say, I got down to Carol and Hastings, and there was a lady down there. And she looked at me and she says, your cookies, I haven't used all weekend. Okay, I was sold. It does work. Since then, I figured I've donated 140,000 cookies thanks to Neil Magnuson. That's been almost 7 years. And it's because of Neil and this other lady that I'm involved in this project and ain't gonna stop. I'd like around.
Hello, everybody. So I'm Rosie. I thought I'd come up here in honor of Neil. I'm a little nervous. I'm only used to speaking at 12-step meetings. So I'm just gonna pretend you guys are all in the same boat. Okay? Make it easier for me. So hi, everybody. I truly believe that people are put in my life for various reasons. I've been in recovery off the downtown east side for 14 years. I was an IV drug user, and I chose an abstinence-based path in the beginning, and I went into 12-step program, and I struggled with my mental health a lot, and using synthetic medications and pharmaceutical medications in and out of psychiatric care. 2012 was a really awful time for me when I overdosed and I died and was brought back to life by a friend of mine. And I decided to start using cannabis as a way to not have to go back to the other ways that I was trying to stay focused and on a path of well-being. But as part of using cannabis, I also did a lot of healing and I did a lot of inside work on myself. So since I'm getting to the story where meeting Neil, it was like everybody's put in your path for reasons, and I can see over in my recovery, not having family, not having any really supports in my own life. I've had great supports in recovery that have helped me feel strong and that have loved me unconditionally. And so in 2008, I started opening houses and running recovery houses. I started going to school to be an addictions counselor. Today, I am a certified addictions and community support worker, and that's what I do for a living. And in 2021, someone had saw what I was doing in Surrey. I was baking up dozens and dozens of cookies every week, working with Green City Housing, and offering 2 big bags of cookies every week to the Overdose Prevention Society. And someone had said, have you ever met Neil Magnuson? I said, no, I've never met Neil Magnuson at all. But I did have a very big, huge passion for cannabis and how it's been a huge part of my journey in recovery and how I felt ostracized in the beginning, being I wasn't a 12-step program. I couldn't go back to that support anymore. So I turned to the 420 community in 2021 when I started to become and use my voice more actively instead of just in the rooms and just speaking and sponsoring women. I started to speak to the news and speak to other people about using cannabis as medicine, and Neil was put in my life. And I met Neil, and I'd known Neil for about a year before I even thought or considered starting a cannabis substitution project. Not only do I not have the sources for something as massive as what Neil was doing in the towards the end of the 7 days a week, that was not something that was feasible for me. But I did know that I could try and do a 1 day a week event where I could start something in Surrey and kind of grow his vision. But I didn't know where to start. I didn't know what to do. So like Gary had said, me and Gary were working together, doing other things at the time. And we decided that we were going to sit down with Neil and see how Neil felt about us starting a CSP in Surrey. And I remember Neil's first words were, well, this has been done before, and it didn't work out. He said there was tons of pushback, and whoever had started it before actually only did it for a few months and stopped. So I said, you know what, but I'm not that person. And I have a lot of, in my overdose prevention, I'm on the news 2017 when the opioid crisis first hit us. I was in North County, about 10 or 11 people a day, saving lives nonstop in Surrey 135A Street Strip. And it was absolutely freaking insane at that time. And so when I met Neil, it was like inevitable that I wanted to do this for the people. And I'd already been working with the police in outreach settings like the community service police. We were working on the strip and trying to house people rationally and with like integrity, not just displacing people and throwing them in the bushes. We were working vigilantly together. So I had these relationships established. So me starting the CSP on Saturdays was a lot easier for me. I'm gonna tell you, I started December 17th, 2022. I've done over 75 outreaches now. And I think I serve about 100 people a week. And the stories you hear from everybody else, it is a program where the lineup is, they're waiting for me and they're depending on this program. And in fact, people come with Rosie, I'm going to treatment next week and your edibles have kept me not using the shit I use to get there, right? Or even the other person said about they're using less even. To me, as a harm reductionist, that's success. When someone tells me they're only using a half a gram compared to using 3 grams of fentanyl a day, that's success. So, you know, I didn't know everybody else in Neil's world, but slowly got to know everybody else, some of the people in Neil's world. And I know I just came out of the blue 3 years ago. Who the fuck is Rosie? You know, and because I kind of shifted my activism in a different way because cannabis was part of my journey at that time, and it still is. So not having Neil here is super tough. He was a huge support, and because like someone had said earlier, this isn't easy. I have a full-time job. Okay, I have twin boys that I'm raising. I still have to bake 200 cookies a week. I have to roll 200 doobies a week. I have to, you know, make sure I'm getting all my donations and all the other supplies. I give out food and everything else as well. So, and Neil would always come on Sundays when he'd see his mom, and he'd come and he'd always drop me off a little care pack. Here, Rosie, this is for your baking. Here, Rosie, here's some butter. And then, you know, it just, I can miss him.
Keep going, you're awesome.
Yeah.
Because I go, Neil, how the fuck did you doing this every day? Like, I'm like, He's like, you know, and we have to remember, like, that he said, have as much fun as you can, Rosie, doing what you're doing. And yeah, I'm really gonna miss him. And I appreciate that even the short time I got to be with him, he was put there for a reason and he's made me stronger. And I'm not gonna stop doing what I'm doing, definitely not. I'm actually expanding it. I want to grow it, and I actually want to open a house one day. Again, that is cannabis friendly. So I have visions and I have goals, and cannabis has nothing to do with cannabis. It has to do with love, and it has to do with compassion. It has to do with, you know what, someone said integrity. You know, nobody's looking. Nobody's looking at what we're doing, right? We're just doing it, and that's all that matters, I guess. Rest in peace, buddy. Love you.
Yep.
Hey, I'm really bad at public speaking. It's probably the first time I've ever done this, so please bear with me.
Who are you?
My name is Uta Elove, and I provided the security for 420 and Cannabis Day for the last 12, 13 years.
Yep.
I just wanted to talk about the first time I ever met Neil, and it was at Occupy in 2011, and there he was sitting on his table. I think it was a Friday, sitting at his table with a whole bunch of weed around him and cops at every corner. I go, sit down, and I sit beside because nobody else knew what to do. I was the only one with a security license, so I was de facto security head of something that didn't have any security leaders. Anyway. So I sit down and I say, you know that there's cops around, right? In typical Neil fashion, I don't give a fuck. It was like that every week after that until it started getting really hairy. But with him and Cannabis and Bert Easterbrook helped me get on to know you guys, and I saw the man just before he died, and though he was a shell of a man that he used to appear, he still had the fire inside him. And let's not remember anyone who saw him at that point. Let's remember him as the man he was, because that's how I still see him. And if you need some security for Cannabis Day or any, just talk to Dan. Thank you. I do have to go. I have to work tonight, security, so I will. Yeah. Thank you.
Anybody else that would like to? We are gonna speak last, actually, he has to go at the end. Alex would like to say something now.
Okay, I want to take back. Yeah, because it's been a shit show for us. So that's what we're doing. Stay Where's your space?
Well, hello, everybody.
Okay, there we go.
And I'm gonna admit the same thing. I'm here because of the help of Neil. My name's Alexander Borchardt, and he has helped me for the last 10 years of my life. I've been not only dealing.
You stay there.
I've not only been dealing with sciatic nerve issues, in which he introduced me to his wonderful Phoenix tears, but also I have phantom limb syndrome, which is a problem that the medical companies don't want to admit are real, and all the therapists thinks it's just depression. Unfortunately, my nervous system tells me every day that the leg that I lost due to a train accident is still there. And if it wasn't for the CBD oil that he gave me, the cannabis that he helped me get started on, and the Phoenix Tears cream that made all the pain go away, I don't think I'd be able to be here right now. And so I am also now one of the co-directors of the Magnuson Foundation. And we are trying to sell. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to make everything a little more accessible for everybody. We try to bring in donations, whether they be physical clothing, food, cannabis donations, edibles, Phoenix Tears, anything. We accept it all, and we try and get people that are on harder stuff to feel like they're part of a family. Because when they feel left out, they won't try to find help. And sometimes we are the help. We're the only help out there every week, giving them a chance to get off the hard drugs, to get off fentanyl, to get off of every single opiate that you're given for pain relief. And so all I can say is that I hope that I can make Neil proud with the work that I plan to do for the rest of my life, making sure others don't feel the pain I had to feel, don't have to go through the alone and the depression that you feel when you are separated from everybody while unfortunately doing opiates. And I really hope that this will be one of the best things that I can ever do for you, sir. Thank you for everything, man. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, yeah, we got a lineup.
Yeah.
I'm not speaking, I'm just hanging out here with Jody.
Jody is here next.
Jody in the middle. It's okay, take your time. Where's that box of Phoenix? Is it up there? Okay.
The first time I saw Neil, he was rollerblades with a mullet and ponytail and going to events and rolling around and speaking the truth about cannabis to anyone who would listen. And
they had to listen because he would follow them and be relentless and be vocal. And I just remember being so impressed by his tenacity and his ability to never give up, to be so tireless. Being an activist is a really hard job. Being an activist about something you care about takes everything from your heart and soul. Being a cannabis activist means that you have to bear witness to a lot of suffering. You bear witness to the miracle of cannabis. You bear witness to the joy and relief it brings to people who are in pain. And in a world so full of pain, cannabis is relief and it's peace. And I'm a loud mouth and I talk a lot, but Neil, watching him for 20 years develop as an advocate to become so concise and so perfect in his word and his message, and to never give up, even when I was tired. And I've spent a couple of years being really tired. We all get tired. If you're an activist, you get tired. And I just couldn't believe how tireless he was. And to do something so important in this time when legalization is here and it's in effect and it has so many flaws, and he was a perfect critic of everything that's wrong with it. And with medical cannabis being ignored and put to the side, and the opioid crisis taking so many lives, and the answers that he had for the questions of what do we do, let's carry that on for him, because the idea that he was facing charges under the Cannabis Act up until his dying day is insane. It's even more insane that it wasn't even just for selling doobies to people who want to have fun, because that's our right in life, but to provide cannabis access to people who are sick and dying and need it, to do it so bravely, to do it right by the police station, to be so upbeat and positive even in the darkest times. What a light, what a bright, shining light. And when I looked at all our old photos as he got sick, and looked back and I was like, oh my God, he's always there. Always there on stage at 420. Always there belting out the anthem, and I was always there beside, being quiet, not wanting to go to the mic because he's the voice and I don't like to sing in public, but boy, he made me want to sing with pride, because when you hear those lyrics and you hear that song and he sings it, you feel really damn proud of all the work we did and the community we're part of. And we've all lost a lot of friends in recent years. And the only peace I can find is that he is at peace because he suffered. He was joyful and positive and beautiful, but he suffered, and he suffered greatly, but he suffered stoically. And he was an inspiration to me when I didn't want to keep going. And I thought to myself, if he can keep going, I can too. And I will. And I will for him, and I will for the reasons we've all been committed to this with our hearts and souls. And I know he would say, stop crying.
No, keep
Be
crying.
happy.
It's all right.
Have fun. And we will be happy and have fun. And when we went and saw him and held his hands and he could barely speak, all he could say was, it's okay. It's all okay. It's going to be okay. Have fun. And so we will have fun. Be happy, warriors. This is really hard work. And it's even more difficult knowing that we have the answer to so many problems and they still haven't received that yet. But we will make sure that we don't stop. We cannot stop. He planted so many seeds. He has inspired so many people, and that's the fire that burned within him. It's like a candle. You can take that flame and spread it far and wide, and we will keep that flame burning, and we will keep his mission alive. Thank you so much, Neil. You're a wonderful friend.
Just remember the moment that we made him smile and he said, all four of us, right? He was smiling.
It's tears of joy.
It was tears of joy.
It's a joy to have known such a man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Next I'm going to, just to remind everybody to stay for dinner. There is, treats and there's lots of food, so.
Yeah.
Don't leave yet. There's still people wanting to stay.
And we're gonna have
and the raffle as well.
And the 420.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the 420, we're all gonna smoke outside. So, Jeremiah, here you go.
Hi, everyone. Man, there's so much to say about Neil, but I'm trying to keep it reasonable here. I just wrote something real quick. Neil was more than just a friend to me. Neil was like a big brother to me. He was always there to rescue me in whatever jams I got myself in. Whether it was doing cannabis activism and organizing amazing events like 420, or working on Cannabis Day and all the hard stuff that had to be done at these on-site locations. No matter how busy Neil was, he'd always make extra time to fill in on any of the hundreds of tasks that we had to accomplish. And he was always the first soldier blazing forward on the front lines, despite all the hard work. Or whether it was literally coming to rescue me when I was doing silly and irresponsible things, like driving my car with only my learner's permit, and got pulled over by the cops, Neil would come and show up in minutes, no matter how late or whatever, and be my qualified supervisor, so they let me drive away. And he always did it exactly like a big brother would, with no judgment, but just loving good advice to get my shit together, basically. And for years, my informal nickname for Neil has been Saint Neil.
Yeah.
And it's not just because he's always been an exemplary model of a cannabis activist and an extraordinary teacher about the plant, educating as many people as he could about the benefits of marijuana, whether they wanted to hear that information or not, as Jody said, like many of the cops on the front lines. But also because of his role as an intercessor. And I'm not really a Christian, but I'm a student of all religions, so I know that saints are recognized for their work of interceding. Interceding is to go or come between two parties to plead before one of them on behalf of the other. And that's exactly the work Neil was doing for cannabis. He was acting as an advocate and an ambassador, pleading with the powers that be, governments, police, and the courts, to allow the cannabis plant to be free. And he also made impassioned arguments to those same powers on behalf of so many in need of the healing powers of cannabis. Standing up for the rights of individuals struggling with addiction and pleading for their access to cannabis as a substitution for hard drugs. So he really was a saint. He worked tirelessly and selflessly to the very end to fight for those who couldn't fight for themselves. So today I wanted to give my eternal thanks to Neil, his amazing soul and spirit, and officially canonize my big brother as Saint Neil.
Yeah.
No. I think it's obvious to all of us how incredible of a person Neil was, what an amazing friend he was in every situation, an incredible advocate. But something that has become very apparent to me today and recently is just how much of an inspiration he was and how much of a ripple effect that has had on the world. And that to me, I think, is a sign of a very well-lived life. The fact that we have all been in some way inspired by Neil, whether as a friend, as an advocate for cannabis as a substitute, advocating for the plant's benefit, why we should have the freedom. And he's been doing this for so long. He did it for so many years, tirelessly. The amount of people who have been inspired by him in one way or another, and then in turn went on to inspire others, who then continue that inspiration. Neil had an incredible impact on this world and did such an immeasurable amount of good that it has just astounded me. And seeing every single person here and knowing that you were all inspired by Neil the way that I was, the way Jody was, the way everyone who spoke has been, knowing that we can then go on continuing that good work. I know that warms my heart, and I know it would make Neil very proud too. Having a good send-off meant a lot to Neil, so thank you all so much for coming out and paying him his respect today. I know he would want us all to have fun too, so make sure we celebrate and smoke a lot of joints too.
Next, I'd like to welcome John B. to the podium.
Good evening, everybody. Good afternoon. Neil was quite a warrior. one thing I really respect is how far he took his freedom, the freedom fight across Canada, and just the amount of impact he made for patients, not just in BC, but across Canada, around the world. I mean, for the people I've talked to in Europe and the groups that he actually touched and what he's created for the world, it's just been amazing. And Neil's journey has been really, we've been on several occasions, as everybody knows. I used to meet Neil all over the place. And we go out of our ways. You meet Neil at this gas station, I'll get you this, okay, I'll go down over here. Yeah, it's, you know, I'm so blessed to be a part of his life and his journey. And that journey was helping all of us. All helping one another. Everybody here, we all have this touch with Neil, haven't we? Everybody here has had this journey of how much he's helped every single one of us. Everybody here has had that journey. And you know what? What was great is I told Neil, I'm writing his little story. I'm going to really quote about you. And I was blessed. And I'm going to read this quote for you guys. So we're going to flat some tears. Because these are tears of joy, tears of a journey, tears of a journey I got to be able to spend with Neil. So I get to read with you guys quote number 37. And I got to read this to Neil. I got the book the day before, and I came down on a Friday. And I was there, I was able to read him the quote, and he gave me the biggest smile. So I get to read this quote with you guys today. That's quote number 37. And there's a lot of good people in this book, from Greg, from Jason Wilcox, from Horatio Delbert, from all of our Randy Kane. This is a really good book of just the people being a big touch in my life. Like they've all touched all of our lives. So quote number 37 is, the healing is an art, and cannabis, a master painter, colors our world with shades of wellness. Neil, an individual whose heart was expansive as the sky, dedicated his life to service of those by society, recognizing the profound disparities of healthcare and wellness access.
I wish I could memorize this, but I think I don't know. So.
Kind of want to be able to look at you guys and read this as I read this out loud. Neil embarked on a mission fueled by compassion and a drive by even a belief that cannabis is a force of good. We all know that. He was driven by the force of good. He knew this plant was going to save this world like it is around the world at Greenwood. We talked about it for so much. His journey was not just about providing relief, but about fostering dignity, empowerment, and hope among the less fortunate. I mean, come on, we're all here supporting one another. We've all been in the case of being less fortunate at one part in our lives. And when we become more, we help the others less fortunate than our others. And Neil always profoundly did that. Armed with a deep understanding of cannabis therapeutic benefits, Neil founded a nonprofit organization aimed to bring the gap between those in need of the healing potentials of cannabis. As we all know, right? Come on, he's all around the world for his Vancouver Southeast project. Thank you, my brother. He saw the plant as a tool for healing not only physical ailments, but for the deeper wounds infected by poverty, neglect, and exclusion. Right? This is truly, it's just brother. Neil's work began in his community, where he organized free clinics and wellness workshops across Canada. These events were open to all, offering not just access to medical cannabis, but also education in responsible use, holistic healing practices. He was always about responsible use and getting access. You know what? You got it, Johnny. The importance of the mental and emotional for well-being. For Neil,
That's all right. Cheers of joy, buddy. Cheers of joy.
Tears of just me, as I'm reading these words, I'm feeling the amount of impact we made together as a team, all of us.
Yep.
We've all made that impact together as one.
And we continue to make it.
And we're not going to stop.
We're not stopping.
We're not stopping.
No
one's stopping.
Nope.
We have the force here,
Yep.
and the roots live within these walls and always have. Thank you. These events were open to, I'm going to repeat myself here. Okay, it was about holistic health practices and the importance of mental and emotional well-being. For Neil, healing was an exclusive art, one that painted life's canvas with borders of strokes of wellness and compassion. The compassion that we gave each other. But the vision extended beyond temporary relief. Neil was a pioneer in advocating for systematic change, tireless working to alter policies that restricted access to medical cannabis for unprivileged. He never stopped to the day he took his last breath, and I was able to be able to thank you for that. Like we all have here today, right now. We're all thanking you for his ability to make change.
Thank you.
Neil was a pioneer in advocating for system. Oh, I just sorry. Tirelessly working to alter policies that restricted access to medical cannabis for the unprivileged. He collaborated with healthcare providers, legal experts, and fellow advocates, pushing for reform that recognized the right to health and well-being universal around the world. One of Neil's most impactful initiatives was the establishment of the Compassionate Care Program, which provided medical cannabis not only to those to cost who could not afford it. The program, one of the first of its kind, became a model of similar work efforts worldwide, embodying the principles that healing should not be barriers of income or social status. Once again, thank you, Neil. Throughout his life, Neil worked illuminated the countless lives touched by his efforts. Stories of transformation and hope emerged from the communities he served. Tales of individuals reclaiming their health, their dignity, and from their place in this world. Thanks to the healing art of cannabis and the dedication of one man who loved and believed in its true potential.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Once again, Neil's legacy is a testimony to the power of compassion, guys, and the role of cannabis in crafting to a more inclusive, healthier society. His journey reminded us of a realm of healing we're not only connected, and that through acts of kindness and advocacy, with persistence, we can paint a world with richer wellness for everybody. And that is a picture of Neil with his gown. And I love that. This is just one. So this is something I know that we talked about will be in the cannabis culture. You guys gotta find that story on there. And I was blessed to be able to say this. This is Neil's 37th of the narrative, shines a light of an incredible impact of one individual's dedication. One individual's dedication can have on the lives of many of us, right? Look at the lives that he's touched. Look at the amount of impact that he made. And I know he's smiling right now because this is the impact he truly wanted to make in this world. And he did. He made a massive impact, right? It's incredible. It celebrates the role of cannabis in healing and the social justice, showcasing how this plant can be a catalyst for change, providing not only physical relief, but also fostering a sense of community, dignity, hope, and among for the less fortunate. Thank you, Neil. And I want to read this here today with respect and to a man that I appreciate so much.
Thanks for coming.
Much love.
Next, John Magnuson, the sound wants to say something.
Oh, good, Tim. Maybe everyone could light their candle.
If everybody wants to grab a candle off
You
the
can all
table
take a
and light
candle
it,
home with you.
or you can wait all the way out to
Yeah,
grab
I'm
a.
But it'd be nice if everyone held the candle now.
So I'm not much of a speaker. My dad did that for me a lot of the time. But I'm going to do my best here and give a little bit of the history that most people don't know. It goes back a little further than his cannabis activism. He used to be a carpenter. His dad was a carpenter. It's kind of in the family. We were carpenters together. We were, at the end, before we started activism in cannabis, we were heritage restoration specialists. And we gave up on that job, which is a fairly prestigious position and years of work to get there, to take on a new role. He had gone to some of the cannabis rallies and he got inspired. He had a new passion. He was an activist before that as an anti-chlorine activist. He did a lot of research. He had books and books of papers detailing the horrendous studies that had been done on the effects of chlorine on the human body. This particular activist or activism that he was involved in was a little over his head, he felt, when he got warned by a radio personality that he was in communication and getting some of this information out over the radio with. This guy had his family approached or was had himself approached, sorry, and his family was essentially threatened. So this radio host got out of that form of activism. He told my dad, "You probably don't want to continue." He said, "You have a family, you have a kid. You don't want to go down this road. These guys are way bigger and way dangerous." So that was the end of my dad's touring activism. He went on to just be a carpenter and a father, and what a father he was. I mean, I have so many amazing memories of traveling all over the place with him. Getting stuck on three ships. One cruise ship that we stuck on board. And then we got a 5-minute warning to get off the cruise ship. Went over the PA where we departed. I don't think my mom would have liked that very much. So I remember him picking me up and for the little mini board, you gotta jump over or walk over to get back onto the pier. And we escaped and ended up in the Caribbean where it was going. He took me with him to work all the time. He took me on so many different adventures, camping trips, trips to Stanley Park and every park. He really was a man of nature. He loved flowers. He loved plants. He loved sunsets and sunrises. So he continued on in his carpentry and eventually, like I say, found a new passion. And he started to get involved in the rallies, and that led him to get a little bit more involved with the Vancouver School of Drug War History and Organic Cultivation, otherwise known as the Herb School, where we worked there for about 2.5 years before he decided to take on a slightly different role. He slapped on his rollerblades and rollerbladed across the country. He did that 4 years in a row, starting in 2006. That was the Freedom Tour. I think it was sometime after that carrying on doing the rallies and staying involved in the community that he came up with another project, and that was the cannabis substitution project. Started at Bandu. He had a lineup of people down the block, and he'd just be giving away cannabis. Cannabis edibles, cannabis joints, anything cannabis. The lineup was getting a little out of control. There's a few fights that sort of sprung up in the lineup, so he decided that venue and that way of doing that was not working. So he tried to open up his own shop. He tried to do this in as legitimate and upfront a manner as possible, but came up against all sorts of hurdles in regards to doing it legally. City Council talked about him. They decided that what he was doing was actually beneficial to the community at large. So they didn't bother him after that. He had an RV that he eventually set up because they would not allow him. He could not get a license for his building. And from that point on, I guess 7 years later, that program has been very successful. It's helped an enormous amount of people. We have 270 members who come by and pick up 420 milligrams of high-dose edibles twice a week. That helps them stay off of hard drugs. And unfortunately, he didn't get to see the end of that particular program and see the benefits that would come from it when it finally, for instance, constitutional challenge that he was working on. He's not going to see that come to fruition. He's not going to see the changes in the laws across Canada that might come from that. We're going to carry that on in his name, and that's something apparently that we can do. And we're just going to carry on his legacy as best we can, and try and help people change the world by having some fun along the way and trying to inspire people. So, I'm not sure what else to say. Like I say, I'm not particularly experienced in this realm. We're talking in front of large groups of people. It's a little intimidating. But I'm trying my best here. Thank you all. I am very naked right now. So, I mean, I don't know that he started out with the gift of gab, but you I could probably guess at the fact he had some trouble right off the bat in the beginning. But he sure picked it up fast, and yeah, he became a great orator.
He was lucky to have you as a son. We were there with him right to the end.
He was so proud of you.
I was lucky to have him as a father. I feel very privileged. I had 42 years of knowing that man and getting to spend very intimate, very adventurous times with him. He shared so much knowledge and his experiences with me, and everybody else around him too, because that's kind of what he did. So, I think I'll leave it at that. Is there anybody else who's gonna save me right now? Thank you very much.
So at 4:20, we're all gonna light a joint in Neil's memory, and Lama would like to sing on cannabis, and then we're gonna close with something that Glenn has written.
Dogs, yeah. And we got a video from Dana too.
Oh, there's a video here from Dana.
We're gonna do that at 4:20. All right. Which one? 4:15. Okay.
Does everybody have a joint?
Yeah, we're still early. It's only 4:03. Yeah.
Okay.
It's always 4:20. One day somebody said, I'm gonna wait till 4:20 to light that joint. I said, well, if you're a real stoner, it's 4:20 right now. That's Indian Standard Time, which is you're never late. So everybody's got a joint. Hello, is this thing working?
Oh, it's working.
Check, cash, last plane, want my lad back? Come on, Jack. All right. I want to sing this on behalf of Neil. Hello. Hello. Hey. Hey. Hello. Everybody. Hey. I got the talking stick, so please be quiet. All right. I want to sing this on behalf of Neil. So whoever's got a joint, you want to light it now?
No, we're not lighting until 4:20.
Oh, we're not lighting until 4:20.
4:20, yeah.
We got 20 minutes, so we got stand-up comedy here. We're live here at 651 East Hastings. Okay. Am I gonna sing? Oh, got a video. Okay.
You interfere with somebody else. Continue to take it away from us. I will be a lot less free. So please, thank you for coming out here. See what these people suggested. Stand up, right back, make phone calls, talk to your neighbors. This is important stuff. Our court bodies are willing to go to war and die for our right to be free. Our politicians are she's going to lead our march. She's been talking for a woman about her situation. And we're going to go up Robinson Street, end up with the consulate, leave a message there, and come back here. Thank you all. Please all come on our march. Hold your banners high. Let's spread out as we go. Make as big of an impact as we can. We'll move slowly. We'll talk to the people on the side of the road. Make sure we're seen, make sure we're heard. Thank you all for being here. Michelle Rainey.
That was just a good speech from you. We got like a memorial video as well. And sorry we don't have a bigger screen, but
What do you emails do on the? What emails do?
It'll be posted, right?
Well, welcome to the THC show with Neil. THC stands for Truth, Hope, and Change, and we're going to hope to cover all the different latest news and stuff to do with cannabis world, and do it in a way that gives you some hope and maybe provides some opportunity for change.
You guys want some free weed? Well, let's get this underway. This is pretty nice stuff there. Yeah, you see the plants? Yes, I just saw the plants. Beautiful. They're awesome. The laws against cannabis are very destructive, and they fly right in the face of what it means to be a Canadian and what it means to be in a free country. If you're not free to grow a plant and use a plant for your arthritis, pain, or feel good, or whatever you want, you're not free. There is so much oppression of our great culture here. There's so much hypocrisy and corruption in this world we're living in. And we're still gonna fight hard to get what we deserve. You're either gonna have to do or not do whatever you want to do or don't want to do, without any government coercion or prohibition until you interfere with somebody else. If you don't stand up for it, they'll continue to take it away from us. Your children will be a lot less free than we are, and we'll be a lot less free. Yes, we're free. We're learning. But how about maybe you're even feel like you keep driving? All right, well, we really are making an impact in this community and offsetting the use of opioids. I thank everybody that's been involved and helped us get here, and we're really looking forward to another great year.
I can't thank enough all the people that helped me hear this. I thank you, the viewer, for watching. It's really great to have you along. I hope that we're able to make a difference in your life and maybe make a difference in the world somewhere. And I want you all to have as much fun as you can changing the world. For myself, Neil Magnuson, Hot TV, and the THC show, have as much fun as you can changing the world.
So, I'm a bit of a patriot. I love my country. I hate my government. I'm scared shitless of this government. They are corrupt as can be, and they can make our lives miserable. But I love Canadians. So when it was time to help out with these pot rallies that I've been going to for 5 years, one of the first things that came to my mind is, well, we gotta have a proper anthem. We need to have something that's thought-provoking, that's respectful, that's not stupid, that helps to teach people what we're doing here. So I wrote my version about cannabis. So without any further ado, if you know the words in my hand, if you don't, that's fine, I'll sing and play. Oh, cannabis.
move your hands.
Oh, cannabis, the sacred plant of peace, where healing powers will help us to see. When we're going voice, we get a voice like the true rock should be free. And with voice and eyes, we trace lives, the war against the family. God keep us touch.
We stand here high and proud for you. Oh,
Peace, buddy. Yeah.
It's great to be here. Real good. Anybody else want to speak?
Yeah, I'm gonna know. Good afternoon. I guess you all know who I am. I'm Wells. I just want to thank everybody for coming today. You guys have really warmed my heart. It's a great turnout. So many happy faces, so many smoking faces. It's great to see you all. And like we said, we're going to continue the CSP. We're not going anywhere. Dan and I, we're on the ground. We've got a great staff. We got volunteers that are helping us. George, Dexter, Dan and his team, and Rosie, and all the other CSPs, and Chris Parker out the East Coast. We're not going anywhere.
No,
we're not going
anywhere.
We're
staying alive.
And we want to thank all our supporters too, and our donators. I know you're going to see this on video, but without you guys, the last 4 years, we would not be here. And we're going to continue to rely on your support in order to continue this.
Donators aren't going anywhere.
Oh, that's good. That's good. I just want to say that Neil took me under his wing when I was going through my sexual abuse and PTSD, and he wanted me on the show and wanted to help me make my life a lot better. And I really want to thank him for that, because he really did make my life a lot better. He showed me so many things and how to make life so much better. And being down there with doing the CSP and saving people's lives, it's really hard to stop once you know that you saved somebody's life. It's like you can't get up in the morning and say, I'm not going to go save somebody's life today. You can't live with that, right? So we're going to be there as long as we can. And like I said, he was helping me through my PTSD and stuff like that. And that's all over now. And actually, it became a nice thing, because I've been recently asked to be part of a documentary for survivors of childhood sexual abuse, and they're going to take me on, so I'm actually going to be part of the movie. So I'm going to be able to help a lot more people and stuff like that. And like I said to them, as long as we can just help one person a day, that's what makes the difference, right? So thank you very much, everybody. I've never ever spoken one of these things before, so thank you very much. I love you all. And I'll always remember the moment that the four of us were in the room and we played on cannabis for him, and he smiled, and you could feel the energy. That is going to be my last moment with him, and that's what I'm always going to remember, you guys. Thank you very much for that. Thank you, man.
Awesome for taking care.
Anybody else? Amy? Thank you, everybody.
Okay, so now we would like you guys to all enjoy the food that we have back there. There's some pastries, and there's pulled pork sandwiches, coleslaw, juices, and and any.
Well, let's do the 4:20 countdown. We got
Oh, yeah,
less than a minute, about a minute and a half to go. So,
So it's almost 40.
4:15.
Oh, it's
Sorry.
4:15.
5 minutes. Yeah, 5 minutes.
My third said no.
Yeah, I did. I can do that. Yeah. Yeah, I did do that.
And for everybody else, just help yourself, and we'll meet at 4:20 to start again. Thank you.
All right. Sorry, folks, one more thing. I got a message from Talia, and she wanted me to read this to you guys. Sorry about that, Talia, I forgot to do this. All right. Neil has been a part of my life for so long, even though I only knew him for about 15 years. I can't believe some of the things I have documented with this man. From doing the Vancouver Island Freedom Tour, watching Bert making posters, shirts, and brochures and videos with Neil, to him being Bert's best man at our wedding, uncle, and to our kids. And so many more great times, like blowing smoke in Bert's eyes to help him to help the pepper spray. But while they were in the back of the paddy wagon during the 2015 cannabis events. Love you, Neil. Now spread your wings and explore the universe. That's Talia. She says thank you. All right, now we'll go to the
Oh. Yes, it is.
All right. Yep. Now we can walk around a little bit. Thank you. You're welcome. All right. Good morning. Look at the food that we got. Thank you very much, Darren, Carrie, and Cindy, and everybody else. Make sure you take a candle, Kev. Everybody, yeah, everybody gets a candle. Rosie, thank you. 4:19, 1 minute to go. Get your joints ready, 4:19.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we just walked over there.
Oh, food's right there. Go and
How you doing?
All right, Gary, how you doing?
I just wanted to say to you, I had a wonderful time with Neil doing all the filming and stuff. He's an inspiration to all of us.
Send me some pictures of Neil, please.
I will.
We've got
Send you
a moving frame picture that we'll put them on at the shop, and it keeps moving every 30 seconds. So you got some pictures? We'll put them.
I don't have them on me, but I will.
No, send them to me, Jerry. Send them to me.
I'll get them all for you. I'll get them all.
Thank you. Thank you.
For sure.
Hey guys.
Someone here said that I could.
You can take that, and you can take a candle. A candle. 2, 1. Nice. Nice.
And